In early 2008, Kofi Annan walked into a country staring at a full-blown civil strife fueled by political and ethnic animosity. His principal brief was to broker a peace deal and hammer a political solution to a stalemate that had culminated in the deaths of over 1,300 citizens and displacement of another 250,000. At that time, the warring PNU and ODM teams could not see eye to eye. An 8-member mediation team comprising Martha Karua, Moses Wetangula, Mutula Kilonzo and Professor Sam Ongeri from PNU, and William Ruto, James Orengo, Dr. Sally Kosgei and Musalia Mudavadi from ODM was constituted for peace talks, the animosity witnessed on the streets, permeating to Serena Hotel's Amani room.
His calm demeanor always helped. Nothing seemed to unsettle Kofi Annan. We may be shouting across the table at each other, but you still remain calm.
He got us to bond and to loosen the emotions that were there. Then he chaired and steered this very, very carefully, making sure that no side felt that their viewpoint was irrelevant.
So vicious were the differences that Annan would be forced to adjourn the sittings to lower the temperatures. His signature evening walks around Uhuru Park, concealing the intense pressure he faced from a country yearning for a political settlement and the international community that was pushing for a speedy settlement of the dispute.
Dr. Annan was a very consummate politician, very consummate diplomat, soft-spoken but firm in everything he does, everything he says.
At one point, frustrated by weeks of acrimony in the mediation team, Annan called off the exercise.
I think he realized this back and forth will never end. And he realized it's time to sit face to face with the principals. And he did just that. And before he got them to sit down, he said he's calling off the talks, signaling them that push has come to shove. They sat down with him. Within minutes, there was an agreement. But
the real deal was how to strike a power-sharing deal between Kibaki and Odinga. PNU would hear none of it, insisting its candidate Mwai Kibaki had been validly elected in a free and fair contest. Odinga, on the other hand, maintaining that his victory had been snatched in a brazen rigging exercise, but Annan was resolute.
And I recall that he announced that there's going to be a grand coalition government before we had agreed. And we were pretty furious. And we told him he can't force it on us. He readily apologized. Then we went to Kilanguni. And guess what? What came out of Kilanguni? The same grand coalition government that we had said cannot be. And a power-sharing arrangement. Like I said, the difference between an accomplished statesman and diplomat and the rest of us.
Ultimately, the power-sharing deal was signed at the doorsteps of Harambee House, creating a prime minister slot for Odinga, with Kibaki keeping the presidency. This was followed by other deals under the Agenda 4 reforms, key among them the enactment of a new constitution 2 years later. But Annan's ultimatum for the establishment of a local mechanism to punish the perpetrators and masterminds of the post-election violence lapsed. With Parliament voting for the Hague route, Annan handed over the famed brown envelope to ICC prosecutor Luis Moreno Ocampo, and 6 Kenyans, Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, Hussein Ali, Joshua Arap Sang, Francis Mudhaura and Henry Kosgei, were charged with crimes against humanity. Though the cases aborted, justice for the victims of the skirmishes has remained elusive. 8 years later, Kenyatta and Ruto using the ICC cases to drive their 2013 presidential campaign, accusing the West of hatching a plan to block them from the race. Pointedly, Kenyatta's message of condolences today did not mention Annan's role in brokering the 2008 peace deal, clearly showing there was no love lost between the two. For now, the world joins in mourning a man variously described as a consummate diplomat. Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV.